Good morning, everybody. This is Latasha over here at Tasha's Tiny Homestead. I just got done sitting out all my plants, my peppers and tomatoes over here. I am in Georgia. I am northwest Georgia, just about an hour west of Atlanta. I'm in Zone 8A. It is my first year growing up here in Georgia. I just spent the last decade in Florida. And here I can only garden in the front yard. So we're going to turn this front yard into Tasha's Tiny Homestead. So let's take a look what we got here. So we got my beautiful Japanese maple. I just bought this house in October, so I'm super excited about that Japanese maple. And then over here I left some dead nettle and everything for the bees. These bushes got to come out. The bees love them, but I think they're invasive. You can see all the pollen on top of my car. It's crazy. Then get this side of my yard cleaned up. I don't think I'm going to plant anything over there. It is super rooty. Over here I have some cuttings that someone gave me. So I have blueberries, blackberries, crab apples, grapevine, Japanese maple. I was going to bonsai. You can see, oh, look at it. It opened all the way up. My blueberry bush bloomed in a pot, so that's pretty cool. I have a lemon tree there. So over here I have two rows that are tilled up of 24 feet. I'm not sure how wide. They're probably 2 feet, maybe 2 or 3 feet across. Didn't really measure that part. But they are 24 feet long. Didn't measure that. These are just temporary borders here, so they're a little crooked. Here is my tomato trellises, so I'm going to put tomatoes up here. I tie them off. I do plant my tomatoes about a foot apart. And then I just don't keep all the suckers, but a foot and a half. So these are going to be full of tomatoes over here. And then I'm going to have sunflowers, where you can see the outline I have made of it over here. It's going to be a little sunflower room. I'm going to till all that up and plant sunflowers where you can actually go underneath there. We're standing below my Japanese maple here. And let's go on the side of my house so we can see what's going on over here. Over here, there is weed barrier underneath it. So in order for me to plant my pollinator garden in here like I was planning on to, I'm going to have to basically tear up all the weed fabric. So that is a project in itself, but we will get to it. And we're going to tear up all the fabric that is in here. Back here is my watermelon area and squash. Some squash will go up front, most of them will go back here. As you can see, I'm still working back here. I have the classic clay soil, so I am in the process of amending all this. I put them back here because they love and they need a lot of room, and so it gives them a lot of space to be able to run from back here and have all that to go up there and not be in the street. Might be the neighbor's yard, so we'll have to train them a little bit. And so that's what's going to go back here. So I am so excited to bring you along on this journey. Wow, it's bigger in person. To bring you along on this journey, my first year gardening here in Georgia. I am not a new gardener. I have been gardening for a very long time. I'm gonna walk over here. There's birds making a nest. We can stand underneath this tree. They love to be underneath this tree. This is a pretty cool canopy. You see my bird feeder and bird house up there. And if you look real close, you'll see the blue jay that's making, right there it is. That's the one that's making the nest in there. So we're going to go back in the house and let them continue. They have that nest full of stuff. I mean, just full of things. It is the first year I have been able to see them make a nest in one of my boxes, so I'm so excited. But if homesteading is something new to you, if you're just interested in my journey of gardening, if you're like, I can only do front yard gardening, if you're into front yard gardening, if you have a small space like I do, say, come along for this journey, and let's see how we turn this front yard into Tasha's Tiny Homestead. Anyways, this is a short video. I'm actually getting ready for work, and I wanted to say hello. This is my first video on this channel. I was under our family farm when I was in Florida and had a YouTube, but this is the first video for my new homestead where I'm actually doing this by myself. In those videos, my husband was with me. Look at all these little flowers from the Japanese maple. But up here it's just me and my boys. So come along. I also wanted to bring you inside because all out there is not all my plants. So I still have plants in here. So let's take a step back. I got my lights on Amazon. It came in a pack of 6. I think they're called like Marina or something like that. They're like $70. They always have coupons on Amazon. And the baker's rack I got from Home Depot for like 200 bucks. So what I have in here, you can see over here is my messy little bay table. You see it's just a mess. It's not a mess. I'm not going to call it a mess because I'm growing food for my family. So I'm not going to call it a mess. I started my bean plants. Beans, you can direct sow. I don't direct sow anything. But if you're not going to direct sow something like beans that takes off really quick, start them at the very end. You see how big some of them are? Over here in this tray here, I have some Romas. I have some milkweed. I have 2 varieties of milkweed. Milkweed is such an important thing for pollinators. And then some other tomatoes I started. Down here I have some squash, some more beans. I have some watermelon down here. Down here, these are some Romas that I've already up-potted. I gotta up-pot the rest of them. Cucumbers are direct sow. I recommend direct sowing, but I don't, like I said, I don't direct sow anything. I have a lot of birds, and the birds will swipe everything. I mean, a ton. Up here, I have some tomatillos. You know what I'm talking about, with the husk on them. And then back up, my dog. And then over here, excuse that noise, that is the fan I have on them. You want to give them circulation, so I have the fan on them. Didn't even think about it, but I'm leaning right over by the fan, so I do apologize. And over here is some more of those cucumbers. So yeah, this is what I also have in the house. I'm not planning on up-potting because these are getting ready to go outside this weekend. It's been a pain. I have learned a couple of things. One, I can't start my tomatoes early like I did in Florida. They will get humongous. I have tomatoes that are like a foot, 2 feet tall. 2, I would still start my peppers early, but I would make sure I have enough pots to up-pot them and enough room. So, yeah. Ooh, almost tripped. And, oh wait, down here we have some more. These are Mexican sour gherkin. The other cucumbers we have are national pickling, and what was the other one? It's a slicer, but I can't think of what it is. National pickling, and I can't think of what the other one is called. But I have 3 varieties in here. One is the pickling one is a slicer, but I cannot think of for the life of me what it is. I'll have to actually take a look. But that is what's going on in my living room. And there's my dog. They like to eat the leaves off my plants. And I thought it was a pest. And it turned out the pest was my dog that was eating my tomatoes and peppers. So